In the rolling hills of Kentucky in 1877, a child was born who would become one of America's most documented and controversial figures. Edgar Cayce appeared ordinary enough, the son of farmers with little formal education beyond ninth grade. Yet this unassuming man would go on to give over 14,000 psychic readings that challenged the medical establishment of his time and continue to intrigue researchers today. What sets Cayce apart from other psychics isn't just the sheer volume of documented cases in his name, but how remarkably practical and effective his recommendations proved to be. While he became known as the sleeping prophet for his ability to enter trance states and diagnose conditions he'd never studied, the real story lies in the simple, accessible remedies he prescribed. Among these, none was more frequently recommended or more surprisingly effective than something you probably have sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. Salt. But not just any salt, and certainly not used in ways you might expect. The young Cayce discovered his unusual abilities quite by accident. Working as a traveling salesman, he developed a severe case of laryngitis that threatened to end his career. When doctors could do nothing to restore his voice, desperation led him to experiment with self-hypnosis. In this altered state, he diagnosed his own condition and prescribed a remedy that worked. This experience launched a lifetime of helping others when conventional medicine had reached its limits. What makes Cayce's story particularly compelling isn't the mystical aspects that often get emphasized, but the practical wisdom contained in thousands of carefully documented readings preserved at the Association for Research and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach. These archives reveal a man whose intuitive understanding of the human body was decades ahead of his time, particularly when it came to the therapeutic use of minerals. Cayce's most common prescription was deceptively simple: Epsom salt baths. To modern ears, this might sound quaint or overly simplistic, but Cayce somehow understood what medical science wouldn't confirm until decades later. Epsom salt, chemically known as magnesium sulfate, provides the body with magnesium through absorption through the skin. Today we know that an estimated 80% of Americans are deficient in this essential mineral, which plays a role in over 300 enzymatic reactions in our bodies. The symptoms of magnesium deficiency read like a catalog of modern complaints: muscle tension, fatigue, anxiety, sleep disturbances, headaches. Cayce was addressing these issues when the medical establishment barely recognized that mineral deficiencies could affect health. His frequent prescription of warm Epsom salt baths was treating a widespread problem that conventional medicine wouldn't acknowledge for generations. But Cayce's approach went far beyond simple bathing. The archived readings contain detailed instructions for what he called salt packs, where Epsom salt was heated in a skillet or oven, then placed in cloth bags or towels and applied directly to problem areas. These weren't mystical treatments but practical applications of heat therapy combined with mineral delivery. Consider the case of a construction worker documented in the archives, a man whose back injury had left him unable to work for months. Traditional treatments provided no relief, and he faced permanent disability. Following Cayce's reading, he began daily Epsom salt baths combined with heated salt packs applied to his lower back twice daily. Within 6 weeks, his pain decreased significantly. Within 3 months, he returned to work. No miracle, just the practical application of heat therapy and mineral supplementation addressing the underlying causes of his condition. What distinguished Cayce from other healers of his era was his holistic understanding of how the body functioned as an integrated system. He recognized that many health problems stemmed from mineral deficiencies and poor circulation, concepts that wouldn't become mainstream until much later. His recommendations typically addressed multiple factors simultaneously, treating not just symptoms but underlying causes. Cayce also demonstrated remarkable insight into the difference between refined table salt and natural, unprocessed salts. Decades before anyone talked about the problems with processed foods, he advised people to reduce refined sodium chloride while ensuring adequate mineral intake through sea salt or rock salt containing essential trace minerals. This distinction predated our current understanding of how processed foods contribute to health problems. The documented cases reveal a pattern of gradual but lasting improvement rather than dramatic overnight cures. A businessman from Ohio followed Cayce's recommendation for salt baths 3 times weekly and reported significantly improved sleep and reduced muscle tension within a month. A woman with chronic joint pain found substantial relief through heated salt packs, combined with switching from table salt to sea salt in her diet. These results weren't supernatural but reflected natural healing processes supported by addressing mineral deficiencies and using proven therapeutic techniques. What made Cayce's approach so effective was his ability to identify root causes and recommend simple solutions that worked with the body's own healing mechanisms. Cayce understood something else that modern medicine is only beginning to appreciate: the connection between emotional stress and physical symptoms. He recognized that muscle tension often reflected mental and emotional strain, and his salt treatments addressed both physical symptoms and underlying stress patterns. The warm, relaxing nature of salt baths provided not just mineral supplementation but a therapeutic ritual that promoted relaxation and emotional release. Reading after reading emphasized creating a peaceful atmosphere during treatments. This wasn't about mystical properties but about maximizing therapeutic benefit by allowing the nervous system to shift from stress response to healing mode. Modern research on the relaxation response confirms this approach enhances any therapeutic intervention. The archives contain numerous follow-up letters documenting results. A teacher from Pennsylvania wrote that chronic headaches that had plagued her for years significantly improved after she began regular Epsom salt baths. The improvement wasn't immediate but developed gradually over weeks of consistent treatment. A Kansas farmer documented his experience with salt packs for arthritis in his hands. Initially skeptical of such a simple remedy, he found the heated salt treatments provided more relief than anything his doctor had prescribed. These real-world results demonstrate that Cayce's recommendations worked on solid physiological principles. Magnesium helps regulate calcium levels in muscle cells, promoting relaxation and reducing tension. Heat application increases blood flow, bringing healing nutrients to affected tissues while helping remove metabolic waste that contributes to pain and inflammation. Perhaps most importantly, Cayce didn't view salt treatments as magical cure-alls but as supportive therapies that worked best as part of a comprehensive approach. His readings consistently emphasized combining physical treatments with proper diet, adequate exercise, sufficient rest, and maintaining a positive mental attitude. This holistic perspective was revolutionary for its time and remains relevant today. The real legacy of Cayce's work lies in his pioneering recognition that simple, natural remedies could support the body's healing processes. His understanding that mineral balance affects overall health, that absorption through the skin could be therapeutic, and that heat therapy combined with minerals could provide significant relief was remarkably advanced for his era. Today, as we seek natural approaches to health and wellness, Cayce's documented recommendations offer practical wisdom validated by decades of use and modern scientific understanding. An Epsom salt bath after a stressful day follows sound physiological principles. The magnesium absorbed through skin helps relax tense muscles while warm water promotes circulation and triggers the body's relaxation response. Using heated salt packs for muscle tension follows established thermotherapy principles now standard in physical therapy. The combination of heat and mineral absorption provides benefits that address both symptoms and underlying causes of muscular dysfunction. Modern research has confirmed many of Cayce's insights. Studies show magnesium deficiency is widespread and contributes to numerous health problems. Transdermal magnesium absorption has been demonstrated clinically. The anti-inflammatory effects of warm salt treatments appear in medical literature. The historical Edgar Cayce offers something more valuable than miracle stories. He provides practical, accessible approaches to supporting health using simple, natural methods that have stood the test of time and scientific scrutiny. In our world of complex medical interventions and expensive treatments, there's profound wisdom in these fundamental, gentle healing practices that work with our body's natural processes. His legacy teaches us that healing doesn't always require complicated procedures or expensive medications. Sometimes the most effective remedies are the simplest ones, available in our own homes and applied with patience, consistency, and understanding of how the human body naturally functions. This is the real story of Edgar Cayce's work with salt, grounded in historical fact, validated by experience, and available to anyone seeking natural approaches to health and wellness.